Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing a shocking development that has captured worldwide attention and left Russia's leadership in deep concern. The news that Ukraine has managed to strand nearly 300,000 Russian soldiers by cutting off their lifeline is not just another battlefield update, but a moment that demonstrates the changing nature of this war. This event is being compared to some of the biggest turning points in modern conflicts, and the way it has unfolded tells us a lot about strategy, preparation, and the balance of power between the two countries. To fully understand the weight of this event, we need to look at it from the outside, from the inside, through the lens of performance, safety, what makes it unique, what it costs, and how it all ties together into the bigger picture. From the outside view, or the exterior, this looks like a well-calculated strike that Ukraine has been preparing for months. Russia had stretched its supply lines and relied heavily on routes that appeared strong but were in fact fragile. Once those were severed, everything behind the front collapsed like a chain reaction. The battlefield maps show a completely new reality. Where once Russian forces advanced with confidence, now they are stuck in zones without adequate resupply. The sight of such a large number of troops being effectively immobilized is both rare and significant. It shows that in modern warfare, control of supply and logistics can be as powerful as control of weapons themselves. For Ukraine, this exterior picture projects strength and resilience, sending a global message that it has the capacity to fight back against one of the largest militaries in the world. On the inside, the situation looks completely different and far more desperate. Within Russian camps, reports suggest that soldiers are facing uncertainty every single day. Supplies of food, fuel, and ammunition are running low. Units that were once confident in their position now face the grim reality of isolation. The sense of security that comes from having backup has vanished, replaced by anxiety and confusion. Morale is said to be dropping quickly, and the psychological impact of being stranded without a lifeline is immense. Soldiers begin to question leadership, strategies, and even their survival. While from the outside it looks like a strategic masterstroke, from the inside it feels like chaos, disorganization, and looming disaster. When it comes to performance, Ukraine's actions here are a textbook example of military efficiency. Precision, timing, and adaptability all came together in a single coordinated effort. By cutting off lifelines, Ukraine achieved something that heavy weaponry alone could not. The performance of Ukraine's forces demonstrates the ability to think beyond direct combat and target the weak links in the opponent's structure. In contrast, the performance of the Russian side is being widely criticized. Poor planning, overconfidence, and a failure to secure essential supply routes have exposed them to one of their largest setbacks since the beginning of the war. Military analysts point out that Russia's mistake was underestimating Ukraine's intelligence and mobility, leading to a situation where numbers and strength did not translate into dominance. Safety is a word that in this context reflects survival and protection rather than comfort. For Ukraine, safety means reinforcing defenses, securing liberated zones, and ensuring that Russian forces cannot break through to regain lost ground. The safety of civilians is also a core concern, as Ukraine works to protect towns and cities from further bombardment. For Russian soldiers, safety has all but disappeared. Without secure lines of resupply or withdrawal, their ability to regroup or even survive in harsh conditions is in serious doubt. This event has raised concerns even among Russian families and supporters, who are beginning to question whether leadership in Moscow has adequately provided for the safety of its troops. Safety is no longer just a battlefield condition but a political issue that is shaking trust in the Kremlin. What makes this development unique is not only the sheer scale of troops affected, but the way it redefines the conflict. Ukraine has demonstrated that strength does not always lie in numbers or heavy firepower, but in exploiting vulnerabilities. Stranding 300,000 troops is not only a tactical victory but also a symbolic one. It shows that Russia, despite its size and resources, is not invincible. The unique selling point here is the message: strategy and smart warfare can level the playing field. This move has also earned Ukraine more respect from its allies and renewed calls for stronger international support, because it proves that their assistance is being used effectively. On the global stage, it shows smaller nations that resilience and strategy can challenge even the largest military powers. The price of this development is steep for both sides. For Russia, the cost is visible in stranded soldiers, lowered morale, and international embarrassment. Families of soldiers are left in uncertainty, while critics at home gain new ground in questioning Putin's leadership. Economically, the costs of trying to restore supply routes or rescue stranded forces will be immense. For Ukraine, the price is equally heavy, though in different ways. Such bold moves risk further escalation. By humiliating Russia in this way, Ukraine may face harsher retaliation, more bombardments, and renewed attempts by Moscow to shift the war in its favor. The price is also measured in the toll on civilians, as every new step in escalation threatens lives and infrastructure. Yet, despite these costs, Ukraine's leadership seems determined to carry the price if it means securing long-term survival and freedom. As we tie everything together, the conclusion becomes clear. Ukraine's ability to strand 300,000 Russian troops has not only shocked Putin but also reshaped how the war is being viewed worldwide. This development proves that logistics and supply chains are as critical as direct combat, and it highlights the consequences of poor planning at the highest levels. For Russia, the challenge now is not just on the battlefield, but in restoring faith, morale, and strategic direction. For Ukraine, it is a moment of pride, but also a test of endurance, as bold actions invite equally bold responses. The world is watching closely to see whether this moment becomes a turning point that pushes the war toward negotiations or drags it into even deeper escalation. What cannot be denied is that history is being written in front of us, and Ukraine has shown that even against overwhelming odds, determination and strategy can shift the balance of power.